So again, welcome to Ego, the skill provider. Friends, I have already informed you. If you want to communicate fluently, confidently, you should follow somebody who knows English in a better way. And whenever we say that who is a better communicator in English, I believe the native speaker. You, me are non-native speaker. We cannot be equal to a native speaker. But yes, with a lot of practice, with a lot of training session, with the right kind of mentorship, we can, level up the series. We are still down. So that's why collocation plays a very crucial role, shaping of your communication skill. Because whenever you speak anything and you write, use the right collocation, it is going to give you the much needed momentum, and you speak just like a foreigner, just like a native speaker. So that's why I already informed you, collocation is pretty vital. Collocation is pretty vital for spoken English, for written communication, apart from tense and time. So that's why I have I come up with some of the collocations today, and this is the last class for this week about collocation. So tomorrow again we are going back to phrasal verbs, but today I'm going to tell you something. What are the collocations available in crime? What is crime? Crime, murder, rape, something called somebody looting, or something called trying to kill somebody on upfront. So this is something called, these are called the crimes. So today our topic is all about the collocation available in crime. So here I'm going to share the screen before you, and something called collocations available in crime. Okay, so what are the collocation? This is something called a collocation available in crime. Something called, what are the collocations available in crime? So this is the collocation. Okay, so let me tell you, my friends, whenever I say that collocation available in crime, so what is called crime? When a person breaks the law, so that is something called illegal, it is a crime. So we have a law of the land that has been there in the constitution. So that is called, whenever you break the law, that is called a crime. Okay, we say that they have committed a crime. Remember, doing a crime is completely wrong. Se gote crime korichi, he has done a crime. Wrong. Commit a crime. The actual word is commit a crime. Let me put it here. Something called, no, it will be better, I can put it here. So I'm putting it here so that you can easily check it out. This is something called commit a crime. Okay, so this is the word commit, committed, committed. So commit a crime is the right word. Just like I'm doing a work, I'm watching television, I'm watching sports, I'm writing on the paper. These are called the right collocation. Okay, you are looking at me, I am looking at you. So this is called the right collocation. Exactly. You are going to, you say, Amit Odia kouchanti, se gote crime korichi. Koriba mane do again. So do ame itte abhyasta hoy jaychanti. So every somewhere ame do lagai douchanti. So don't use do. What you have to do, that you have to commit a crime. You can say he has committed a crime, or I have committed a crime. That guy has committed a crime. They have committed a crime. Okay, we say they have committed a crime. So commit a crime is the right collocation. Especially horrible crimes. Horrible crimes means crime of different types. Something called petty crimes. Petty, Petty. Petty crime means small crime. When something called murder, rape, these are called horrible crimes. Okay, so like savage rape or brutal murder. Whenever the rape is, you cannot describe, that is called, it was a savage rape. And when the murder is completely brutal, it is something called brutal murder, brutality, barbaric. Okay, so look at the things. Collocation केमती व्यवहार करा जाए. It was a brutal murder. आपण जेतेବେଳେ कुहंती brutal murder, what do you mean by brutal murder? नृशंस हत्या. आमे ओडिया रे कहबा नृशंस, से तांको नृशंस भाबे हत्या करिछि. तो ए जो वर्ड ता आमे कहउछंती, that is called brutal murder. Savage rape can be described as barbaric, horrible or vicious crimes. So crime, ame the crime to kahichi apanku, we have a small crime, we have something called big crime. When the crime is big, we cannot call it is a big crime. We can call it it's a barbaric crime, it's a horrible crime, or it is vicious crime. Oh my God, जदि मन करो जने जन को मर्डर कर दउछ, आपन को कहू my God, it was a brutal murder यार. And whenever rape happens, you can say it was a savage rape, savage rape. And this is the right way. You have to acquainted yourself. You have to, otherwise it is quite difficult for you, right? देखो केते गुडा collocation मु आपन को कहूची. First है commit a crime, something called savage rape, brutal murder, and you can say it is a vicious crime, horrible crime, or barbaric crime. Anyone is correct. Okay. If someone tries to commit a crime but doesn't succeed, we can say attempted. आपन गुडे सुनिथिबे it was an attempted murder. तमाने से मर्डर करिबा को चाहुथिला किंतु करि पारलानी. That is called it was an attempted murder. धरंतु मु जणको एक्स गोटे लोकटा को माने दौडिछि ता पछरे गोटे चाकू धरिकी ताको मारिया पई. मु ताको मारी पारलेनी किंतु अटेम्प्ट नैथिली मारिया पई. माने मारिया पई थाइथिले but I was not successful. That is called attempted. So attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, attempted break-in. So what is attempted? Attempted means you have already taken the, you are tries to do the crime. You are tries to commit the crime, but could not be successful. Ba apana success hei parle nai. So that is called attempted murder. तो मन रखिथांतु. It आपण सुनिथिबे जेतले गोटे crime or description होउची, then say it was an attempted murder. Attempted murder माने आपण बुझी परनथिबे. What is attempted murder? Attempted murder माने से लोकटा को मर्डर करिवा पाई माने नई थिला गोटे लोक is trying to commit that crime but could not be successful. So whenever you are not successful at all, then you can say you are tried to do that but you are not successful. So that is something called attempted. Okay, something called attempted. Okay, so when somebody is trying to commit a crime but doesn't succeed, we can use the word attempted. For example, an attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, or attempted break-in. Break-in means like trying to break the law. Okay, if someone accuses another person of a crime, then it is not yet proven, then we can use the alleged. He was an alleged assault. Means देखंतु धरंतु दिलीप सर कहउछंती बा शेख सर कहउछंती जे एक्चुअली से लोकटा मोठू चोरी करछि, मो दुकान से चोरी करछि, किंतु सेटा प्रूव होइनी. Look, that means if someone accuses other, accuse करछि जे ए लोक आसी के एक्चुअली चोरैछि मो दुकान रो, किंतु सेटा प्रूव होइनी. There is no proof at all as of now. Prove हेइनी, prove होवा पई जाउछि. So that is called an alleged. Attempted, that is something called you have tried but could not be successful. But there's something called alleged. That means you have somebody is accusing you. आपन को जने accuse करूछि but सेथरि से माने आपन से prove होइनी. So this is an alleged assault. Assault माने क्षत सृष्टि करिबा. And alleged harassment and alleged rape. Somebody is saying like, sir, he is trying to beat me. So it has not been proved. Police has not investigated so far. Then that is called alleged. So one is called commit crime, savage rape, brutal murder. You can say it can be horrible crime. It was a vicious crime. It was something called a barbaric crime. Okay. And the second one you can say it was an attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, or attempted break-in, or something called alleged assault, alleged harassment, alleged rape. Okay. after the victim reports the crime to the look, you have to report the crime, inform. No, आमे को कहूचे चलो पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म कर दबा. No, we have to report to the crime to the police. That's very important. Have you report this incident? आमे कहूचे, have you reported this incident? So report the crime. That's very important. Inform माने आमे report करिया माने कौन कहउछंती. Report. Let me tell you something. आपण सुनिथिबे, like you know, let me give you an example. Suppose I am the police officer and लवन शंकर किछि प्रॉब्लम अछि, तो सी आसिक मते इन्फॉर्म करंती. बट आपण जानि छंती जेतले आपण पुलिस स्टेशन को जिबे, सी आपण कोन कहंती और लेखि कि दियंतु, लिखित रिटन. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड अ रिपोर्ट. आपण इन्फॉर्म करिया माने मु आपण को धरंतु नदीम सर कहि सर काली केतले क्लास हबो, सर वी सेम टाइम वी आर गोइंग टू. दैट इज समथिंग इन्फॉर्म. मु तांगु लेखि कि दउनी. इट इज नॉट ए जस्ट लाइक यू नो रिटन. सो व्हेनेवर ट्राइंग टू रिपोर्ट समथिंग, you are trying to in the written format. That's why आपण जानि छंती इंडियन पेनल कोड कहूची जे प्रत्येक जिंसटी आपण लिखित हिसाब रे पुलिस को देखिबे. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड FIR. आपण जानि छंती FIR, फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन रिपोर्ट. ओके, सो लेट मी पुट इट हियर. समथिंग कॉल्ड फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन report. So that is called FIR. Short form hochi FIR. That is something called first information report. Okay, so you have to report the crime to the whatever happened to you. You have to report to the police. Have you reported to the police? अपन कहे सर I have already informed. आमे कोने पुलिस को चला इन्फॉर्म कर दवा. It's a wrong word. That is not the right collocation. You have to report the incident. You can inform me, sir. Sir, can I leave? That means you are not reporting. You are informing me. But when we are trying to go to the police station, you have to report it to the police station. So that's why look at the things. Report to the crime. Okay. The police will begin to investigate the crime. That is called investigation. That you know very well. They will be visit the crime scene and gather forensic evidence or forensic data. Forensic evidence is something called American English, and forensic data is something called British English. In India, we say they are trying to gather forensic evidence or forensic data. So what is forensic data? Collect details of the bullets, fingerprints, or blood sample that show that the show has happened. That means suppose there was a murder. So say murder scene pakare, there may be something will be like bullet will be there, guli jota ame kohchan. Okay, or something called there will be blood stain, rakto chita padithibo, that is called blood stain. So the entire area has been cordoned up, and that is something called gathering the forensic data or forensic evidence. That is how it is being said. Okay, if witness come forward, witnesses, who are the witnesses? Suppose I have seen the entire incident in my naked eye. I have seen it. Suppose देखंतु आपण मु पढेला समय रे then Sheikh Nadim sir huntu, Dilip sir huntu, but upon Lavan sir huntu, those who are with me right now, you can easily you can witness it. You are witnessing my class right now. Can upon you are present virtually. So upon kaibe je sir, I have seen the class today, or I have witnessed the class, right? So gote crime hela bale jetole upon seta dekhithibe in your eye, that is called naked eye, something called you are a witness. The police will interview them to hear the first hand account. What is called a first hand account? That means you are the first person who has seen the entire crime scene. आपण को आगरे जदि गोटे गुली कांड हे जाउछ, आपण देखुछन सेठी, that means you are the first guy who is going to report to the police. So that is called a first hand account. Okay, what has happened? They also consider possible motives of the crime. What is the motive of the crime? Look, motive is a negative word. क्राइम पछरे मोटिव कोन, उद्देश्य. बट उद्देश्य कोन हला, लेट मी टेल यू हियर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड मोटिव मींस उद्देश्य हमें कहउछंती. बट मोटिव्स कैन मोटिव्स इज ऑलवेज ए नेगेटिव वर्ड. पॉजिटिव रे आपण लगेई परिबिन. अच्छा, आपण एठी मु जदी कहबी व्हाट इज द मोटिव बिहाइंड योर अटेंडिंग द क्लास, रॉन्ग. काहे ना आपण एठी जो क्लास टी करूछंती मो सहित, व्हाटएवर द क्लास यू आर गोइंग टू अटेंड और अटेंडिंग राइट नाउ, दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड पॉजिटिव इंटेंट. इते नेगेटिव इंटेंट किछ नाही. So I can say, what is the reason of your attending the class? এটা ମୁଁ reason ପଚାରିବି, এটা motive ପଚାରେ। motive ମାନେ କଣ ହେଲା ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ, ବଟ୍ ହେଲା କଣ ଗୋଟେ hidden ଥାଏ। ଜଣେ ଜଣକୁ ମର୍ଡର କରୁଛି କୌଣସି ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ରଖି, ମନ୍ଦ ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ରଖୁଛି। ଏଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କ ମନ୍ଦ ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ରଖି କ୍ଲାସ କରୁଛନ୍ତି? नो। ସୋ reason is something you can use for positive things. ସପୋଜ ମୁଁ ନଦୀମ ସାରଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ଆସୁଛି, ସାର୍ ଯୋଉ ଇଲାକାରେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି, ମୁଁ କଲ୍ କଲି, ସାର୍ where are you? I am at my shop right now, or I am at my business center. Sir, I am coming that way. Yes, sir, please come in. What is the reason, sir? Why did you come here? Is there any work in our area? Like that, sir, ପଚାରିବେ। But whenever you are trying to commit a crime, so obviously there should be a motive. What is the motive behind the crime? Not reason behind the crime. Try to understand. What is the reason of calling me? ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କଲ୍ କରୁଛି, sir, can I know the reason of calling me at this part of time? Right, the reason, that is called reason, କାରଣ। But here ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ମାନେ ମନ୍ଦ ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ, that is motive. Okay, motive of the crime. Police can arrest suspect. What is a suspect? Who have believed to have committed the crime. Means people are suspecting or police is suspecting, ସନ୍ଦେହ କରିବା ଦରକାର। Okay, but the suspect can prove their innocence by providing a solid alibi. That means giving a confirmed explanation where they are not at the police of crime. So that is called providing a solid alibi. That's something called a that is a term that has been used in the legal. This is a legal jargon. ମୁଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ କହିଥିଲି, there are so many jargons are available. Jargons ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ particular word, ଗୋଟେ particular subject ପାଇଁ ବ୍ୟବହାର ହେଇଥିବ। Let me give an example. Suppose ମୁଁ କହିବି ଯେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଫ୍ୟାନ୍ ଦରକାର ପଡୁନି, because it's little bit winter has almost set in, and it is little bit cold. We experience cold right now. ଆପଣ ଫ୍ୟାନ୍ ଦରକାର ପଡୁନି, ଯଦି ଜଣେ ଫ୍ୟାନ୍ ଦଉଛି, ଆପଣ ପ୍ଲିଜ switch off the fan or turn off the fan. Turn off the fan. Okay, ଆପଣ କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର ଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଅଫ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି କଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି? Turn off the computer? No, shut down the computer. So computer word ରେ turn off ଟା ହେଲା କଣ? Something called, that is a jargon or called shut down. System is booting up, କିନ୍ତୁ ଫ୍ୟାନ୍ ଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ I'm going to start the machine, ଧରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ like you have a machine at home, let it be a grinder. You are putting the plug in the right area and trying to switch on it. So what will happen? It starts to run. It is a machine. But the computer, you can say it's booting up. It has something called a OS or operating systems, then it is booting up. So computer start hobako ame kohuchi it is booting up, right? So that is a computer jargon. So semiti, like these are called, like these are called proving your innocence by providing a solid alibi. Solid alibi means that is something called that you are not there, you have to give a confirmed explanation. That means the explanation should be completely confirmed and should be verified. If it is never discovered who committed the crime, then the case remains an unsolved crime. Solved, because suppose a guy was murdered, but nobody is the first at account, nothing is there. So police try to investigate it. After that ame kon koche apamurtu, unsolved crime, though nobody is responsible, and police is yet to find out who is the reason, what is the reason, and what is the motive, or something called why this guy was murdered, who has murdered, all the things absolutely not founded. So then you can say it is an unsolved crime. The statistic about murder of the crime in a particular area is called the crime rate. Crime rate माने जो rate रे आपनकर गोटे area रे crime बढ़ुची, that is crime rate is increasing day by day, because the youth are drug addict, and to get money they are committing the crime. And when there is a big increase in the crime rate, we call this is as a crime wave. What do you call it? We call it crime rate. Crime rate means the rate at which crime is increasing. ame kohuchi amar gote rate achi, right? Suppose I can say like accelerator. You have your bike, you are trying to make it, this is called accelerate the bike, and that is called accelerator. The exactly same way, suppose in a area you can find the crime is increasing, then what is the crime rate, you are asking? every day 1 2 3 4 crime is going on. So that is called crime rate. My god, the crime rate is increasing with alarming speed. If the crime rate is very high, the rate is very high or increases sharply, you can say it is a crime wave in that area. The crime rate becomes crime wave whenever the number of cases increases day by day. Okay, there are a number of collocation we can use to describe crimes. First time offender. First time offender माने हम जीवन रे केतला अपन पुलिस स्टेशन जाइना कि अपन करे इश्यू नहीं, but suddenly something happens and you have committed a crime, then you can say you are a first time offender. सेटे पचारिबा जे they are you a repeated offender or a serial offender or that is called a serial offender. Serial offender माने आपण माने देखिबे किछि लोक तांकर जन्मगत अधिकार हला से गंडगोल करी. Every time they will come and they are called serial offender, and you are a first time offender. You never did that crime, but you know परिस्थिति रे पड़ी के आपण कर देले first time. You are a first time guy and committing a crime, that is called a first time offender. Okay, and everything is maintained. आपण देखिबे गोटे crime scene पढंतु आपण. I am providing every day newspaper. Say देखिबे गोटे crime scene, he was a first time offender. आपण बुझी पन what is first time offender? First time offender माने that person who has broken the law for the first time. Suppose you know आपण भुवनेश्वर रे गाड़ी चलाउछंती and somewhat आपण कोन कले ना ट्रैफिक रे जो सिग्नल अछि जेब्रा क्रॉसिंग को आपण क्रॉस करि गेले for the first time and you have been fined 500 or 1000 rupees. तो आपण कोन कहबो, oh my god, आपण पुलिस पचरियो बाबा एमति केथर कलोनी, sorry sir, I am a first time offender. Means you are committing the crime for the first time. Okay, and something called who have break the law for the first time and who has broken the law in the past has a crime record. Obviously he has a crime record and becomes a criminal or a serial offender, like a serial killer, serial offender, like that you can say. So what you can find it out, a person who has killed multiple people over the time. जदि आपण गोटे परे मर्डर करि चरचंती, you become a serial offender or a serial killer. आपण सुनिथिबे एटा सु ना ओडा सु serial killer means he has killed so many people in his life. A person who is heavily involved in organized crime can also call a notorious criminal. Try to understand. A word oda is very important, my friends. Something called organized crime. देखंतु आपण मन को रास्ता रे जाउथिले, आपण को किछि दोष नथिला, जणे आसी आपण को पिटि देला बा आपण काहा को पिटि देले, झगड़ा हे गेले, तो आपण को माने गोटे ऑर्गेनाइज हे कि जाउथिले माइंड आज मते जाय कि मर्डर करिवार अछि. No, it's not like that. Simply you are moving and somebody says something to you and you got angry, you fight and scuffle happens and it become a crime. आपण से पिटले, आपण ताको पिटले, something happens like this. But organized crime माने आपण देखियो जो माने लूट करंती घर बा बस लूट करंती, से माने पूरा ऑर्गेनाइज हे कि जाइथिबे, पूरा बंदूक फंदूक धरि कि जाइथिबे. They have all the instrument, or you can say all the all the weapons, you can say weapons, gun fun सब धरि कि से माने जाइथिबे. That is called organized crime. And those who committed organized crime are called notorious criminal, दुर्दांत अपराधी. आमे सुनिथिबे गोटे वर्ड रे से गोटे दुर्दांत अपराधी. दुर्दांत अपराधी रो ओडिया इंग्लिश होउची notorious criminal. अपराधी होउची criminal, but दुर्दश अपराधी, that is something called notorious criminal. Okay, collocation of specific crimes. देखंतु को आमे केमति करिबा, just a cold blooded killer or murder, a person who doesn't have the feelings or emotion. जेतले आपण जण को मर्डर करंती तो देखिथिबे, आपण तो केबे आपण तो you are all students or somewhat you are very well educated guy. आपण गोटे भाबंत गोटे फिल्म देखुचंती, फिल्म रे जणे जण को मर्डर करूची, एटा तो आपण देखिथिबे. तो देखिले समय से के चित्कार करूची, जदि से लोकर फीलिंग्स थांता, if that person has the feelings, तो से ताको हानि न थांता बा ताको से मर्डर कर न थांता. तो जे तार फीलिंग्स नहीं, it becomes a cold blooded murder. Check out the things, cold blooded killer or cold blooded murder. Cold blooded murder means you have no emotion. You have no emotion. You are just like them the chicken katanti आपण काटी चलछंती लोकटा. You become a something called a cold blooded murder or murderer. Okay, a craze or psychopathic killer, a killer who is insane and mentally unbalanced. देखिथिबे सोसाइटी आमर किछि लोक पागल गुड़ाक तांकर काम होला से खाली मर्डर करिवे से जानि पड़ना एक्चुअली. So that is something called psychopathic killer or something called crazed. Domestic violence, when there is a violence inside the home, let me tell you, a wife is beating his a husband is beating his wife, something like that. So that is called domestic violence. Domestic violence means the violence happens in the home. Home means that where you live. House means you can refer others. Suppose I'm right now in the office. Where I'll go once the class is over, I'll go home, right? So whenever there is a violence, whenever there is a violence inside the home, suppose the wife is beating the the husband is beating the wife, or something called putting acid, or any kind of torture, dowry torture. So that is called domestic violence. Drug trafficking, look at the drug trafficking, purchase, sale and transport of illegal drugs, illegal substances, just like cocaine, ganja. What exactly are doing? अपन गोटे जगह परचेस करती ताकू सेल करती, that is called drug trafficking. That is called drug trafficking. Okay, so he is a drug trafficker. So trafficker माने traffic नुहे. Try to understand. Traffic is something different, my friends. Let me put it here for you. Traffic अपन को सर ट्रैफिक जा ट्रैफिकिंग बोले से एला ट्रैफिकिंग एला ट्रैफिक. Traffic is something called traffic police. Traffic means where there is a control, the movement control. अपन देखिए बड़ा बड़ा शहर गुड़ा करे like traffic व्यवस्था अछि. So traffic means who controls the movement of the vehicle in an organized way, right? That is called traffic police. Okay, and their harms will be there, a lot of things. The traffic violation kale अपन fine दियंती. But this is called not traffic, trafficking. So trafficking means you have to purchase, you have to sell contrabands, illegal substances, ganja, liquor, charas, a lot of things are there. Okay, so identity theft, when a criminal steals an innocent person's identity information uses in an illegal way. What is identity theft? अपन माने समस्त जानी थिबे. Something called आपनकर मु पासपोर्ट नंबर नहीं आसीबी, आपनकर आधार कार्ड नंबर नहीं आसीबी, then I have to create something called a new things, and I can use it for the benefit of some other people. So that is called identity theft. Something sexual harassment, that is undesirable sexual advances towards another person. This is very important. Petty crimes, petty. मु आपन कहउथिले कि समय गुरु petty means very small. Petty means small. Okay, petty means small. Petty crimes, छोटे आमे कोन छोट बड़ घटना, that is something called petty crimes. Petty means small, petty crimes. So what you can understand? And something called armed robbery, a criminal steal something using weapons. अपन देखुचंती घरे पसिबा जनकर, like you can give it like that. You just put a like this and tell that you are supposed to tell that if you're not giving the items that you have stored somewhere else, I am going to kill you. That is called armed robbery. So this is called cold-blooded murder, domestic violence, drug trafficking, human trafficking. How gote what item koi dochi, I forgot to mention it. That is called human trafficking. Human trafficking kon is something called human trafficking. Human trafficking means अपन देखिथिबे किछि लोकन को अपन नियंती बांग्लादेश रु किछि लोक आस्ते, आमे किछि लोक इलीगली अपन देखिथिबे बहुत गुडे ओडिसा रो लोक माने दुबई जाय फसी जाइथिबे अपन सुनिथिबे, लाइक सर मते माने अनेक वीडियो आसे अपन देखिथिबे, अपन एरिया रो लोक भी जाई परथांती, आज्ञा हमकु से लोक आनिथिला पैसा हमठु नै गेला, आमे बर्तन फसी जाइछु एठे. So that is called human trafficking. That means they are trying to transport, or they are trying to channelize people from one place to another. Se mane nei jantu, but with a fake promise that I'll give you job, kintu seta job nathi, right? They will be completely tortured and they will work as a domestic maid somewhere else, and they'll be completely, sometimes they'll be murder also. So that is called human trafficking. Human trafficking also it's very found in basically झियो पिला मानकु प्रलोभित करी बाहर को नै जिवा प्रक्रिया को मध्ये ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग बोली कुआ जे. ड्रग ट्रैफिकिंग and human trafficking, that is almost similar, but here you have to purchase, you have to sell and transport illegal drugs without license. Okay. And sexual harassment, petty crimes, armed robbery, drug trafficking, human trafficking, domestic violence, cold blooded murder, organized crime, notorious criminal, दुर्दांत अपराधी जोटा आपण कहते, FIR, fast information report, and motive behind the crime, forensic data, commit a crime, all the things. So this is something called collocation available in crime, and this is perhaps the last class of this week about this collocation. Tomorrow we are reverting to our something called phrasal verb. So what I want to tell you, let me tell you something called ame jo jinsoda padiche, whatever the things we have already studied, that is collocation and other things. Let me tell you my friends, ये जो जिनसोडा मैं आपन कहूची, obviously it is going to help you. कहीं कि ना आपन whether you are going to write an FIR बा आपन गोटे मेल टे लिखिबे, आपन को हेइची something happens to you, you are trying to write or you are trying to express what is that, you need a subject to speak. धरंतु लावन सर किबा नदीम सर का देवाशीष सर, दिलीप सर, आपन गोटे पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक विषय रे कहबे. So how can you speak without knowing the collocation, without knowing the exact meaning? आपण गोटे क्राइम सीन देखुचंती or you are trying to report to a, आपण कोन कहंती let's inform the police. आपण पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म करथिले, wrong word. आपण पुलिस को इन्फॉर्म करथिले, wrong. Have you reported to the police? Report. Because आपण जानिचंती पुलिस को आपण इंडिया रे जहा कहले किछि होबनी जते पर्यंत लिखित हिसाब रे देना. वे तो आपन का एक्सपीरियंस थाई पारे न थाई पारे, बट आपन जानि थिबे प्रत्येक जिंस को इंडियन पेनल कोड कहूची पुलिस कोनोसी कथा सुनिबो नाही. आपन को सब कथा लिखित हिसाब रे दिया जबो, लिखित हिसाब रे दबा प्रक्रिया को रिपोर्ट बोली कुआ जाय. So how can you say inform the police? Have you informed the police? No, you have to report the crime to the police. Suppose आपन कर किछि प्रॉब्लम हे जाउची, on the way you are facing some problem, आपन कोन कहउछंदी I am going to call the police. Yeah, you can call the police, but you can call the police to for protection, but you have to, for action part, you have to report it to the police. So there is nothing called inform police. ame gote wrong sentence use kar inform police doing the crime, no, commit the crime. Like that, he is a notorious criminal. Oh my god, it was a barbaric crime, it is a savage rape, it is a cold blooded murder. देखो ए वर्ड human trafficking happening everywhere. Something called drug trafficking. Drugs, you know, that are completely banned. Ganja is banned, charas is banned. अपन जानथिबे, a lot of narcotics substances are completely banned. Opium, this is completely banned. तो सेटा को जदि अपन किना बिका करूथिबे, then you are a drug trafficker or drug peddler. Drug trafficker is an American word. Drug peddler is a British word. So this is called drug peddler or drug trafficker, right? So this is all about something called the crime, something called the collocation that you can find in crime.